Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the Life's Good. I've been busy for a few days and we've also had no phone or broadband in the home. We had a problem with the line outside the house and it's taken a few days to fix. So consequently I haven't been able to upload a video for a few days. However, I've still been cracking on in the garden and doing a few other things. Now, we've all met Bob before, my little fluffy bunny. Bob's been a naughty bunny. So stay tuned to see what exactly he's been up to. In here, guys, we had marigolds. They were in bloom and they looked lovely in this pot sitting on this deck. Until Bobby decided they were his favourite dinner. Hence we now have 4 or 5 stumps and no marigolds. Naughty bunny. Well, Bobby's getting a bit fidgety now, so I'm going to put him down and let him have a run around the garden. Everything I think he's going to damage, I've moved out of the way. And it seems unfair not to let him have his run around. So we'll let him go and play and we'll crack on. And I'll show you what else has been happening out here in our garden. Come on, Bob. Off you go. Well, he's away to play. As you can see on over my shoulder, I hope you can see the little bird box. The blue tits are still in and out of there, but no longer with moss and grass. They're taking food in, or at least one of them is. I think the female may be sitting on eggs and the other is bringing food in. There you go, just gone in now. One's feeding the other, so I don't think they have babies yet. I think it's a bit too soon, but they're taking it in turns to sit on the eggs. And as I said, one's just gone in now. They're in and out, taking food in. So they're feeding each other whilst they sit on the eggs. Fantastic. The camellia has been a fabulous show of red. It's starting to lose a few blooms now. 1 or 2 of them are dying back. I will deadhead. I will take off the old blooms and leave the fresher, newer ones on. I think it looks nicer. The bleeding heart is now in bloom, which looks lovely down here. My wife bought some gerberas, which we put in this pot. There were some marigolds in each corner, but as I've said earlier, Bobby likes those for dinner. And this little shrub, now we're not sure what this one's called, but it has lots of little yellow flowers on, so that one's coming into bloom. There's a few little yellow flowers on there, and further around the garden there's a few other things in bloom and blossom, and I'll take you around and show you those. Well, just before we walk across here, guys, I just wanted to point out that I think I've mentioned before, we've got a plum tree, an apple tree and a pear. This is a Victoria plum, a Braeburn apple and a conference pear, and they've all got blossom on. Now the plum produced plums last year for the first time since we planted it. We had a lovely crop of plums from there last year. The apple tree predominantly produces loads of apples, wonderful apples. They taste lovely and sweet, and we enjoy those every year. And last year we had 1 single pear. However, this year there's a lot more blossom on the pear tree, so we're anticipating a small crop of pears from that. Now underneath these I've got a few things planted, and I'll lift you down and show you what I've got down there. Well, here we are under the plum tree, and you can see there's a bloom here. This is a tulip. It's referred to as a parrot. I'll see if I can get you to zoom in a bit. Look at that. This is beautiful. It's a lovely red and yellow colour, and the petals look like feathers. They're all sort of feather edged, and They're called a parrot tulip, I suppose, because they're reminiscent of the bright, colourful parrots you would see in the Amazon and other such places. Sure sign of spring when the tulips come out. Absolutely love that one. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, if I can sort of bring you back out a bit, you can see behind here, this plant. My father used to call this a frost plant or a frost flower, because the leaves look like they're permanently covered in a frost. Not sure what the real name of those are. I'm going to have to look that one up for you. Maybe next time I'll let you know. But they look quite pretty in the garden. Amongst other things, they're a good backdrop for other flowers. If this was more heavily planted, they would blend in with all the other colours and blooms and would look quite nice. They came in a planter with other flowers, and when that planter was over, I lifted them out into the garden, and they come back every year. So they're quite different. They're quite nice. Yeah, the name eludes me. I'll see what I can do to find out what they're actually called. Now, I'll see if I can lift you up a little bit. If you see behind there, there's a lovely peony. Now, that has got some wonderful buds on. I don't know if I can zoom you in a little bit. You'll see here, there's a few buds on there that comes out in really bright, blousy red flowers every year. Absolutely wonderful. I'll see if I can turn you around now. Go back the other way. You can see there's another tulip there. Oh, and Bob. Hello, Bob. Getting in on the act again. Yes, bit of a star today, isn't he? Yeah, beautiful tulip there. Now, if I can turn you a bit more, you can see over there, that is oregano. And then behind it is a rosemary. And just down the bottom here, this bright sort of yellowy green plant, that's marjoram. So these herbs are absolutely wonderful in cooking. Whenever I'm preparing food in the kitchen, I nip out with a pair of scissors and cut off what I need and use those fresh in the kitchen. So absolutely lovely. Right, I'll turn you around. We'll go back towards the kitchen, and I'll show you what we've got in the little bed under the kitchen window. Well, this is the kitchen window here, guys, and this wall is west facing. And you can see there's a small bed there between the decking over there and the little gateway and the archway back into the vegetable garden. And underneath we've got a couple of shrubs on the left and the right there. And in the middle we've got a wonderful bay. It's a culinary bay, and I use that in the food in the kitchen as well. A chef once told me that when you use the bay leaves, he said you should roll them up and sort of break the veins in the leaves before you put them into cooking, and that process releases all the oils and the fragrance from the leaves. Rather than just put the leaf straight in, roll it up and sort of bend it about a bit and then put it in your cooking. And what a difference that makes using that method. It really does bring out the flavour of the bay in the culinary dishes. Right, well, I think I'd like to take you down and a quick look at the vegetables. I'll show you what's going on there. And incidentally, we have had some rain the last couple of days. We've had a few downpours overnight, which has benefited the garden immensely. So you'll see the results of that, and also, of course, the result of me using the sprinkler to keep everything moist. So we'll just nip down to the vegetable garden and I'll show you what's happening down there. Well, as you can see, guys, everything is looking really lush. Everything's stood up. Lots of leaf development on the plants. It's all looking rather wonderful. I'll take you in a bit closer and show you down the other end in particular, where I've got all my salads and bits and pieces growing, and show you the shallots and one or two other things down there. Well, you can probably hear the chooks in the background. Every time I'm here, they start talking to me. They're always clucking and cooing, especially Daisy. Aren't you, Daisy? Yes. Right, guys, yes, the shallots, these have come on really, really well. Let's see if I can get you to go in a bit. Look at these. Aren't they wonderful? Amazing. So I'm looking forward to a nice crop of shallots, which I intend to pickle for winter use. So, yeah, looking forward to those. They're doing really well. And further back behind those, I'll just see if I can tweak the camera a little bit. There you go. You can see that behind there. That's my radishes in here. And behind the radishes, that is my Lollo Rossa. Behind those, my all year round, which is a butterhead lettuce. Behind those is spinach. And if I just tweak you a little bit more, you should be able to see just over there my garlic. Now I'll take you up there and show you those. And these are the garlic, guys. Remember I explained how we bought some garlic to use in the kitchen. One of the bulbs was particularly large, and the single cloves from that bulb are quite big. And I split it up and planted them. In fact, I think I did two now. I did one, which started to germinate, and I did a second one. So I've now got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 garlic plants or bulbs growing there. I'll see if I can zoom you in a little bit, just so you can see them a bit better. There you go. You can see they're all germinating and growing quite well. They're nice leaf structure on these, nice solid stems. Now I do believe these are we call the hard-necked garlic. You can get a hard neck and a soft neck, and this variety predominantly in the shops you get the hard neck. And just behind those, if I just tweak you a little bit, you can see my spinach growing here, and that's all doing really well. Turning you around, you can see that the peas are doing really well, and in front of the peas here I've got my leeks. So I've got a nice row of leeks there, and as you look back further you can see the beetroots, and in front of those I've got some sorrel, and the area in front of the sorrel going back towards the path is all carrots and parsnips. And incidentally, when I sowed the carrots, I mixed some radish seed in with them, so when I sprinkled the seeds along the drills, the radish is mixed in there, and they've germinated a lot quicker than the carrot. So by harvesting the radishes later in the season, I will actually be creating spaces in between the carrots. It's a way of catch cropping. I'm getting 2 crops out of the one area, so I get the radishes first and then later on the carrots. So we're looking forward to those. And behind those I've got my cabbage and my calabrese, and they've all picked up as well. Well, this area in the corner of my vegetable plot, it's behind the chicken coop and tucked away behind the strawberry tub. But I've got some currant bushes here. You can see that they're all budding and leafing up quite well. The one in the far corner is red currant, and all the others are black currant. And we do get a good crop of currants from these. But what I've done, when I cut the lawns, I've been putting the grass in here and mulching the ground. And it's warm. It's warmed it up quite well, and it's a little bit of a mulch to feed the soil. And what I've actually done is I've planted out my pumpkins in amongst here. So if you look over there, there's one there, and one a bit further round. There's one in the back of there. I've got one tucked in behind there, and just below the tripod here there's one there. So I've actually got 5 pumpkin plants in here. So hopefully they're going to do well, and we're looking forward to pumpkins at the end of the year. Well, if we look down here, guys, just next to the chicken coop or the chicken run, I've got these tubs of potatoes coming on, and you can just make out in this one and that one, they're starting to show through the soil. So I will be having to earth up on those, throw some compost on the top, and encourage those to grow further. So we're looking forward to those. That's King Edwards in those. And back here, guys, next to the greenhouse, my other tubs of potatoes. I think these are my Duke of York potatoes, and as you can see, they're coming on really well. Now these are my first earlies. The tub at the very back there, you can't quite see in, but at the very back there, he's coming on quite well. I'll see if I can lift you over so you can have a quick look in there. Try not to shake you around too much. You can see that's coming up quite well. So they're all showing, so I'm going to have to start earthing up all of these as they produce their foliage. Well, I think all in all everything's looking okay. I've got fruit and vegetables on the way, so we're looking forward to harvesting those. And rabbits permitting, I've got some flowers to enjoy. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. Everything's coming along nicely. Well, thanks for popping in again, guys. It's been lovely seeing you. If it's your first time here, pop back and have a look at some of my earlier videos and you'll see how this plot has progressed since January, and the greenhouse and everything else since I started my channel. Well, it'd be nice to see you all again soon. Take care, whatever you're doing, you know, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you again soon on the Life's Good. Bye bye now.